Now that we know every MSP from the NHL 25 Sharpshooters event, it's time for me to rank them. That's why I put together this tier list, ranging from S tier all the way down to D tier, as I feel that this event works a little bit differently than others. You see, when it comes to the Sharpshooters players, not only do they have boosted stats, but they have free gold abilities. And realistically, none of the cards that you see here are bad enough for me to put them in a tier called Do Not Make. Yeah, maybe one or two of these cards aren't amazing, but because of how the event was done, I just can't justify putting them in Do Not Make. And also, there's no goalie, so there's not going to be a goalie tier this time either. Now, how this is going to work is I'm going to compare each player from a position from the event directly to each other. Left-hand defenseman to left-hand defenseman, etc. Then at the end, I will individually rank them all. But hopefully I can help you make a decision on which player you should be making, if any. Starting with left-handed forwards, we have Kyle Connor at 91 overall. He's 6'1", 183 pounds with the sniper forward and pinpoint shooting boost synergies. However, the synergies do not do anything for him or any of the cards in this event. His silver ability is Puck on a String, and his gold ability is Snipe. And of course, Snipe is free, costs 0 AP. When taking a look at this card, he has 93 acceleration, agility, and speed, 99 shot across the board, 95 deking, passing, and puck control. His checking category is pretty weak, and same with his defensive category. The next left-handed forward from this event is 91 overall Clayton Keller. He's 5'10", 178 pounds, sniper forward and pinpoint shooting boost synergies. He has Silver Born Leader and Gold Snipe. Now when it comes to him and Kyle Connor, they're both very similar cards. Clayton Keller has better speed, acceleration, and agility, and Kyle Connor has a better checking category. When I do these videos and I do these tier lists, it always comes down to who I would rather use. And between the two players you see here, Clayton Keller and Kyle Connor, I am more inclined to use Clayton Keller. I know at 5'10", he's not super desirable for a lot of players, but I don't personally feel that 5'10" is too short. It's not 5'6". But he has better speed, better acceleration, better agility, and he has Silver Born Leader, which in my opinion is one of the best abilities in the game. He also has better offensive awareness, and overall has a better defensive category as well. Really, the only thing that Kyle Connor hasn't beaten is because of his size, and that would be body checking and strength and aggression and fighting. So for me, for this tier list, I am going to put Kyle Connor below Clayton Keller. With that being said, I don't think either of the cards are super desirable, and I don't think either of them are super necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and put Clayton Keller into B tier, and I'm going to move Kyle Connor into C tier. Neither of these cards are outstanding, and neither of them are must-makes in my opinion, and there is one more left-handed forward we'd have to talk about. That being Tim Stützle, who is the only center from this event. He also has silver puck on a string, but he has gold Make It Snappy, which out of Make It Snappy and Snipe, I like Make It Snappy more. 93 acceleration and speed, 94 agility, 94 deking, passing, puck control, 95 face-offs. Of the three left-handed forwards from the event, Tim Stützle is definitely the favorite. He's in between both Keller and Connor in terms of height, and his stats are all super similar to both, but what stands out for me is the fact that he can play center. He has that versatility. This is not a player that you are stuck using on the wing, and if you need somebody down the middle, you have an option. So for me, I am going to go ahead and move Tim Stützle into the A tier. From the tier list, I'm not allowed to move two players from the same position into a single tier. And with there being three left-handed forwards, Tim Stützle goes in A, Clayton Keller goes in B, and Kyle Connor goes in C. Now, are any of them really worth going after? Well, I don't think that they're better than the Team of the Year Connor McDavid. They're all pretty comparable to the XP Dylan Larkin. And you have the Titans Henrik Zetterberg that came out last week. And pretty much everyone is already going to have these cards. And we're all going to be getting the Brady Tkachuk sooner rather than later. Plus the Mikko Rantanen and the Sidney Crosby from the last event. I don't think either of these cards are very necessary. If you're a fan of any of these players' teams or any of the players individually, definitely make them. You'll enjoy using them. Otherwise, if you already have a bunch of left-handed forwards, I don't think these players are worth getting. Let's move on to right-handed defensemen. First up, we have Evan Bouchard, a 6'3" right D with the offensive defenseman and pinpoint shooting boost synergies. Again, they do nothing for him. Silver Shutdown and Gold Thunderclap. He has 92 speed, acceleration, and agility, 99 shots across the board. He has okay hands, but nothing outstanding. His body checking and strength aren't very high, and his defensive category is okay. The only other right-handed defenseman from this event is Drew Doughty. He has the same synergies. He still has Silver Shutdown, Gold Seeing Eye instead of Thunderclap. But when you compare the two cards, they are ridiculously similar. The only thing that really matters, in my opinion, between the two cards is whether you like size or not. Evan Bouchard is 6'3". Drew Doughty is 6'1". Drew Doughty has a little bit better of agility, balance, and endurance. Evan Bouchard has a little bit better offensive awareness, passing, and puck control. Bouchard also has better body checking and discipline. It comes down to whether you like Thunderclap or Seeing Eye, and if you prefer players with a little bit of size versus players who are not as big. I am going to give the slight edge to Evan Bouchard, and I'm going to put him in B tier. Drew Doughty's gonna slide in to C tier. Both of these cards are really decent, but at the end of the day, Evan Bouchard is a little bit bigger with better body checking and a better ability in my opinion. Now, are either of these cards definitely worth going after? Maybe not. They both have 99 shots, really decent skating, and a free gold ability for their shot. That's going to make them good, and it's going to make them hard to ignore. Maybe one of the best comparables is this Rob Blake from the Gallery of Greats event. Taking a look at his card when you have synergies active, he has 89 speed and acceleration, all 99 for the shots, of course, but he has 99 body checking and 99 stick checking with free shutdown and thunderclap. Aside from skating, I don't think that Bouchard or Doughty are better than this Rob Blake. The Drew Doughty and the Axel Sandin Pellikka cards are very comparable as well in my opinion. So if you already have ASP, which most players do, you probably don't need Drew Doughty. There's the Adam Fox from the previous event, which is an absolutely sick card, and I definitely have him above both Doughty and Bouchard. But free abilities aside, is Bouchard or Doughty really that much better than, say, Charlie McAvoy? And then you have the XP Aaron Ekblad, and then there's the XP Neil Pionk when you get him up to 92 overall. Yeah, take a look at this card. He's pretty sick, and you're getting this one for free. So are either of Doughty or Bouchard definitely worth making? If you're a fan of them, yes. Otherwise, I would stay away. Now, I might get a little bit of heat for this. People might think this is a hot take. People are going to see the 99 shot category and the free shot ability and go, oh my god, he is must make. But their checking and their defense categories suck. Well, let's say you already have Cale Makar and Axel Sandin Pellikka. And then let's say you choose the Neil Pionk from the XP path. Well, there's your 3 right-handed defensemen, not counting any other previous right-handed defensemen that you could have, and I just don't know if the Doughty or the Bouchard are worth the price of an upgrade. If I had to choose between having this 90 overall Aaron Ekblad on my team, or paying the price for a 91 overall Evan Bouchard, well, I'm keeping the Ekblad and saving my resources for the next event. Good cards, yes, but not game-changing. Man, I can already see the comments now. Alright, moving on, let's talk about the left-hand defenseman. Starting us off, we have Vince Dunn, a 6-foot-tall left-hand D, with offensive defenseman and pinpoint shooting boost synergies. He has silver elite edges and gold seeing eye, 93 acceleration, agility, and speed, 99s for the shot, all 90s for the hands except for his passing at 92, decent checking category, and decent defense category. His direct comparison is the 6'3" Noah Hannafin with silver shutdown and gold heat seeker. Between the two, I already know which one I would make, but let's go a little bit more in depth. So Vince Dunn does have a little bit better skating, and he also has elite edges to help him out there. He also has a +2 on passing. However, in checking and defense, Noah Hannafin's a little bit better there. I like Heat Seeker more than I like Seeing Eye. And at 6'3" and him having shutdown, he's going to be very good at checking on the rush. Vince Dunn only being 6 foot tall with 87 body checking and only 89 stick checking, he would benefit a lot more by having shutdown, but without it, you're relying on his skating. Now, I do usually like using smaller players. However, 6'3" is not too big for me. Typically, I don't like players with like 6'6", 6'7". And for me, I think Noah Hannafin is the perfect height in terms of a defenseman. He doesn't have that ogre skating animation, but he also has the reach needed in my opinion. So between the two, I think Noah Hannafin's better, but I don't think either of them are really that outstanding. I am going to go ahead and move Noah Hannafin into B, and I will put Vince Dunn into C as well. But really, if you wanted to put Vince Dunn into D and Noah Hannafin into C, I wouldn't object. Now again, free ability, 99 shot, that automatically makes them a good card. But are they that much better than, say, someone like Miro Heiskanen? They're not better than Megan Keller or Quinn Hughes. Hell, personally, I would take this Thomas Harley over both of them, and you get the Thomas Harley for free. So once again, they're very good cards, but there's just so many other options that these cards just don't feel necessary. Especially if you have somebody like Nick Lidstrom, or Bobby Orr, or even Scott Niedermayer. And of course, you can't forget about team builder Dennis Potvin. The entire event just kind of screams filler to me. An event made where most people are just going to end up skipping it and use all their stuff in future events. Now, there are 3 more players to talk about. They're all right-handed wingers, and 2 of them are essentially the exact same card. I'm talking about 91 overall William Nylander and 91 overall Jordan Kyrou. Both of them have 95 speed and acceleration. Of course, both have 99s across the board for the shot, but their hands are extremely similar. And William Nylander has a little bit better body checking, but that's about it. Jordan Kyrou has silver wheels, and his free ability is gold close quarters. And for William Nylander, he has silver elite edges, and his free ability is gold make it snappy. I personally think that Make It Snappy is better than Close Quarters, and that's pretty much the only reason why I'm putting William Nylander above Jordan Kyrou. They are legitimately pretty much the exact same card. I think Kyrou has a little bit better agility, Nylander with better body checking and puck control. In the end, they're both outstanding cards, there's no denying it. I'm going to put William Nylander in A tier, and Jordan Kyrou in B tier. Now, this is where things get tricky because, well, is Jordan Kyrou really on the same level as Clayton Keller? No. But let me rank the final player before we get into the final rankings between each one individually. Seth Jarvis here has silver ankle breaker and gold close quarters, And the card is ew, gross, yuck, get him out of my face. All right, is he really that bad of a card? Obviously not. But when you're being directly compared to William Nylander and Jordan Kyrou, and you have 92 speed and acceleration, and you're smaller than them, and your hands aren't any better, and your defense isn't any better, and your checking's not any better, yeah, this card's just not that great. In general, it's a very good card. In terms of the tier list, not so much. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Seth Jarvis in D tier just because it makes me sick how bad they did him. You can't have 3 right-handed forwards in an event and make the smallest one the worst skater. William Nylander and Jordan Kyrou blow the Seth Jarvis out of the water. So there you go. That's how the tier list is gonna look for now. I don't have anyone in S tier because I don't think any of these players are 100% must make. The best left-handed forward, in my opinion, is Tim Stützle. The best right-handed forward would be William Nylander. The best right-handed defenseman is Evan Bouchard. The best left-handed defenseman is Noah Hanifin. Now let's put them individually against each other. Now the tier list that you are seeing right here from start to finish is how I feel about each player in terms of Hockey Ultimate Team. The players in A tier are the ones that are going to be on your team for a long time. I don't see them being replaced for a while. The players in B tier are just not quite as good as the ones in A tier, but they'll still be on your team for a bit. The ones in C tier are probably ones you should avoid. And then Seth Jarvis probably shouldn't be on your team at all. Get Kyrou or Nylander. Now I'm going to go ahead and rank each one of these cards individually on the tier list. There will be somebody in S tier and there will be somebody in D tier. S tier is for the best MSP, D tier is for the worst. From this event, the best MSP out of all of them, in my opinion, is going to go to William Nylander. He is the only one that's going to be in S. The second best MSP, in my opinion, is going to be Tim Stützle because of his versatility. Extremely well-rounded card that can take face-offs, the only card from the entire event that can take face-offs. The third-ranked MSP from this event is going to be Jordan Kyrou. He will also go into A tier. He's basically dead even with Tim Stützle. Stützle has better face-offs, that's the only reason he's above him. Those are the only 2 players that will go in A tier. The B tier MSPs, in my opinion, from this event are going to start with Evan Bouchard at number 1, Clayton Keller at number 2, Noah Hanifin at number 3, and Drew Doughty at number 4. In the normal tier list, I can't put both Evan Bouchard and Drew Doughty in the same tier, but when comparing them to the rest of the MSPs, they're both in the same tier in my opinion. Kyle Connor and Vince Dunn can both go into C tier, and Seth Jarvis is going to stay in D tier. So the 2 worst MSPs from the event, in my opinion, are Seth Jarvis and Vince Dunn, followed by Kyle Connor. The reason I like to do both of these rankings is because I like to tell you which MSPs I think are the clear-cut winners from the event. William Nylander is that clear-cut winner, followed by Stützle and Kyrou. In the original tier list, that might not stand out as much. Now, just to make things a little bit more coherent, I did go ahead and change the list just to show what I ranked them in terms of numbers. So in number 10, the best card out of the event is William Nylander. A 9 or an 8 out of 10 would go to Stützle and Kyrou. A 7 or a 6 out of 10 goes to those 4, etc., etc. Do you agree or disagree with what I had to say here today? Will you be making any of the MSPs from the Sharpshooters event? Make sure you leave your comment down below, let me know, and that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow right here on the channel with another one. Actually, super quick heads up, I'm heading to the Stadium Series game in Ohio, so when you leave your comment, I might not reply right away. I'm very sorry, I'm actually going on vacation, but I will do my best to get back to everybody when I have time. Anyways, y'all, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.